to schedule a free exam to see if you're a candidate for this life-changing procedure. Nevius Eye Associates combines the latest technology with years of experience. Call them today at 800-952-7376 or check out their website at nevius.com. This special offer is only good until July 31st.
Do you know that researchers at Harvard confirmed that there are 98,000 preventable deaths each year caused by medical malpractice? That's the equivalent of 2 737s crashing every day for an entire year. The overwhelming number of doctors in the Delaware Valley are competent, caring, and compassionate professionals. However, if you or a loved one are one of those 98,000 unfortunate folks who are victims of medical harm, where do you turn? The lawyers at the Ferrara Law Firm are here to help you navigate these troubling times. They listen to you and give you sound advice based on years of experience. They consult with medical experts and then will tell you whether or not they think your case is meritorious. And remember that all consultations are confidential and free. Call today for an appointment at their Cherry Hill or Philadelphia office. The number is 856-779-9500. Or visit FerraraLawFirm.com. That's 856-779-9500 or FerraraLawFirm.com.
Every week, get the story behind the story at 60 Minutes Overtime, the web show that begins where the television broadcast ends. Go behind the camera with correspondent Candids.
Byron, you've strapped on body armor reporting from war zones several times now, but this seems like the first time where you've put on a clown costume for a story.
I said no several times, was about to say hell no.
Not just another news site. This is storytelling for a new generation. This is 60MinutesOvertime.com.
The new Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Now with more hours of live and local talk.
Talk that's worth your time. Michael Smerconish.
We've been talking this hour about open carry with Mark Fiorino. I trust most of you know all the underlying facts of this by now. Anthony, you had a comment or a question for my guest? Anthony is history. Sorry about that. This is David. Hi, Dave. Thanks for the call.
Oh, good. I actually have a problem both with Mark and the commissioner. This is not really a Second Amendment case at all. It's a Fourth Amendment case dealing with search and seizure and what's reasonable. And I just don't think the commissioner understands that I don't care if there's a gun involved or not. The Supreme Court has ruled that there's no gun exception to the Fourth Amendment, that you can't stop people and point guns at them without any reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime. And I don't think anybody could articulate a suspicion of a crime in Mark's case. And Mark seems to be accepting that it's all right if he just gets stopped, and it's all right if somebody has a gun drawn but not pointed at him. Now, this in the rest of the state, there have been police departments that had to pay out a lot of money for this. It's just going to come to Philadelphia, and I'm a taxpayer here, and I just don't want to see my taxes go up anymore or any more programs cut.
Respond to that, Mark, because I did ask you at the outset. I said, here's what the commissioner just said, that moving forward, he expects there will be stops and officers will draw a weapon, albeit not pointing at the individual that they're questioning. And you did say that was something that was...
It's more acceptable. It's more acceptable than having somebody say that it's okay for them to stop you, draw a gun pointed at you. Now, you have to keep in mind, you have to remember the context of the law. There is a requirement that you have a license to carry while you're in the city of Philadelphia. So, the police department is going to fall back on the high violent crime rate and the gun issues, the gun violence that takes place in the city, and say that, well, because there is that requirement and because it's very rare to actually see someone legally carrying a firearm, that it is reasonable to suspect that the person with a gun does not have a license to carry, and therefore they're going to want to stop you and verify it. That's the way the law is. If we want to change it, we lobby to get it changed.
When I was picking juries and trying civil cases, there was a standard question on the jury questionnaire that sought to take a prospective juror's pulse about how they felt about police. I won't bore you with the verbiage of the question. Instead, I'll just ask you, give me Mark Fiorino's outlook on law enforcement generally.
Generally, I actually have a lot of respect for the police, especially the police in Philadelphia, as they do have an extremely difficult job. Many of them have big red bullseyes on their backs because they wear a blue uniform and have a tin badge. However, the problem is that the police are all human beings. And as a result, they inherently can make mistakes or can essentially be, I want to say, corrupted by power. And as a result of that, because they have that additional power to stop you and detain you and arrest you and take away your freedoms and civil liberties, that they do need to be looked at a little bit more closely when it comes to respecting and trusting that they're out for your best interest.
Bob has listened to the audio. By the way, we continue to have on my website at Smerconish.com the complete, I say complete, the 10 minutes or so that was published on YouTube, if people want to go back and listen to the encounter again. Bob has heard it. He's got a question. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Good. I've been following this story since the very beginning, and just wanted to say, thank Mr. Fiorino for being a good spokesperson for our community. I'm in the Philadelphia area as well. During the incident, it sounded to me towards the end as if the officers, obviously not being able to see it, I can't tell, but it sounded like there was some smashing and banging on the recorder. I didn't know whether he noticed this, had seen were they trying to, damage the recorder? Is that, an evidentiary issue? Had charges been levied?
It's a good question. What exactly, here's the deal. We've got 2 minutes left. I've got a United States Navy SEAL coming next. Tell me what exactly became of the recorder, because he asked something I've wanted to know about.
I actually have it right here now. It's not on, but I carry
Can I see it?
I carry this guy around with me all the time.
So this is it.
That is
okay,
the recorder.
but at the point where, how did they discover it? And
I
then
had
what
it in
became
a chest pocket,
right?
The vest pocket of my white button-down that I was wearing on that day. And when they came over and physically restrained me, they immediately stripped everything out of my pockets, except, ironically, my driver's license and LTCF, which was also in my chest pocket.
License to carry.
Yes, I was sitting in the paddy wagon with it still when they cuffed me. Anyway, and they took that out, and then you hear the one officer say, "What is this? He's recording us." Oh, he effing set us up.
Is that when they took it from you?
That was a few moments after they had taken it from me. You do hear it being clattered around. You can hear the plastic creaking as the microphone picks up them pressing buttons trying to turn it off. Or at least that's what I speculate. I was not watching the officer. I was either face down on the ground or in the back of the paddy wagon.
Ultimately, obviously, because we wouldn't know who you are, they returned it to you and it was undisturbed.
Correct.
Okay.
Still recording when they handed it back.
I could never get through all the questions. You see this, right?
Yeah,
that people
it's a full
have.
board.
Come back as the story develops, okay? Again, I'm hopeful. Here's what I'm hopeful, that for all of our benefit, we get one thing out of the whole Mark Fiorino case: clarity.
Education.
Because if there's one lesson that we can all agree on, a lot of confusion out there. I was a part of the confusion initially, so I want to know what the facts are and what the law says, and let's continue to get that word out.
Absolutely.
All right?
Thank you, Michael.
Mark
Appreciate
Fiorino,
it.
thank you. United States Navy SEAL Eric Greitens. Hit the website, Smerconish.com. Got a lot of things going on.
Have you ever thought about who benefits from so-called tort reform? Do you wonder why corporate America wants it so badly? Don't fall for the